Wesley, I mean, like sometimes wars do lead to technological developments. That is true. But when you make new technologies in war, usually it's designed to kill people, and not all of it can be turned to civilian usage, right? Sometimes it's just about killing people. Jet engines, rockets, I mean, those are good. And I guess a lot of the tank factories could be converted into making cars. You will notice that the Germans do have a really good automobile industry. Turns out that tank factories and car factories are very similar. But yeah, not everything. Not everything is that came out of it was useful. Gas chambers, not useful. The cars that came from it are the base for our cars now. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, Wesley. Without Volkswagen, Germans would be so far behind car-wise. Well, it's not like they would not have it. It's almost inevitable because, as I said, like cars and tanks are very similar. So if you spend that much effort making good tanks, you're gonna get good cars too. And I guess planes as well, like fighter aircraft and civilian aircraft is also similar in a way. There are a number of industries that are significantly or are conspicuously able to be converted into military use. Cars, planes, nuclear power. The same nuclear reactors that generate power can also be used to enrich uranium. So, like, there's no there's no compelling reason why the UK needs nuclear power plants, except that they also need to maintain a nuclear weapons arsenal. Like, why does the UK need nuclear power plants if they don't? Yeah, to power warships, that's right. I mean, but that's, yeah, that also. Um, nuclear reactors for warships. But the UK has so much wind power, especially offshore wind power. They don't need nuclear power at all, but they have to maintain it because they want to have nukes. Yodo Rip says, "Did you make my iPhone?" No. No, I didn't make your iPhone. I'm punching dirt though. That's another industry that's important. Electronics industry. It's also significant for military use, especially in future wars. Do you make any of clothes? No, no, I don't. What do you do, Yododrip? I mean, I punch dirt in Minecraft. What do you do? Why not? Because I don't need the money, Yododrip. Let me fill that in. China does make everything Yodel. It's a little bit of an issue for everyone else because manufacturing capacity, as I was just talking about, does have strategic importance. I mean, the United States won the Second World War because it has a lot of factories. That's pretty much it. Can you catch a fly with chopsticks, said Yodel Rip. No. And I don't know anyone who can. Well, maybe if the fly was like really fast and really slow, maybe I can. I mean, Chinese space program, I believe China's also trying to get into civilian aircraft construction as well. I mean, it's not an accident, of course. They also would like the aerospace industry in their country to become stronger for strategic reasons. Yodelrip says, can you make a backflip? No, I can't do a backflip. Dude, I sit here and play video games a lot. How can I do athletic things? The United States too maintains a technological advantage in aerospace. You and Gold Block is very similar, says Yodelrip. Why don't you clarify what you mean by that, Yodelrip? What about the glowstone? What do you feel about that? You are so bright and yellow. It's a bit dark on the screen right now. I haven't turned the lights on. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Yodelrip says, is anyone in the chat with me? Well, apparently not, Yodelrip. Maybe if you actually say something worth responding to, they'll respond. Yeah, indeed. I wonder why they don't chat with you. Maybe I'll end myself with a atomic bomb, says Yoru. Do you have one? Do you have a nuke? Do you know how they work? You know, if you just pile a lot of uranium together, eventually it'll just explode. Well, I guess you need to enrich it first. If you if you just pile enough enriched uranium together in the same place, it will just spontaneously explode. So it's actually not that difficult to make a nuke. Fat Boy didn't really do very much. It was an early prototype. They can do a lot more these days. Wesley says, where would you get the uranium though? Well, that's the question, isn't it? Where would you get the uranium? You poop uranium? YOLO drip? YOLO drip? How interesting. Does it drip out of your asshole? Is that what happens? You spelled Chernobyl wrong. Although Chernobyl is a great place now. Turns out when all the people leave, it just becomes a great wildlife sanctuary. The Korean demilitarized zone as well. I feel like people are more scared of radiation than they should be. I guess, I mean, it's not. I mean, Chernobyl is probably less dangerous than living near a coal-fired power plant. Wesley says they are completely covering up. What do you mean covering it up? Covering what up? The Chernobyl power plant? Or the reactors? Yeah, well, they encase the reactors in concrete. But they kind of have to, because it's radioactive, right? I meant the surrounding area that they've evacuated around the reactors. Yeah, they literally put it inside a giant block of concrete. Later, Yodo. I mean, okay, radiation is harmful, sure. But people are more scared of it than the risk necessitates, I'm pretty sure. Because driving is dangerous. People don't freak out over driving. Well, some people do. Most people don't freak out over driving. Some people things are more scary than they should be. Some people are scared of flying, which, you know, flying is less dangerous than driving. Like they'd be scared to get on a plane, but then they'll just drive without thinking. And the nuclear disasters, like the risk from the radiation is like you have a certain percentage chance of getting cancer 20 years from now. I mean, okay, that sucks, but it's not that bad, right? Compared to some things. Wesley says, my girlfriend lives like a few kilometers from a power plant. What kind of power plant is it? Is it coal-fired? I guess if you have enough protection, like if the power plant has scrubbers and the smokestacks and all that, it's kind of okay. Oh, a nuclear power plant. No, that's fine. As long as it doesn't explode, it's fine. The nuclear power plant is perfectly safe unless it explodes. Although even if it explodes, it will increase the chances you get cancer when you get older. I mean, oh yeah, that sucks, but you know, a lot of people get cancer anyway. If it explodes, the whole of Belgium is probably gone, huh? Yeah. There's another nuclear power plant in France, right? Although it didn't say they were going to get rid of the nuclear power plants in France. I'm pretty sure they can't do it because they also want to maintain a nuclear weapon arsenal. So again, the French have to maintain some nuclear power plants. I mean, how many people have actually died from nuclear power plant disasters? Very few. They've been saying to remove most plants in Europe. Yeah, but I mean, sure. I think now you can afford to do it because solar power and wind power have come down in price so much. I'm pretty sure it's affordable to do it now. The one where my girlfriend lives near, has been shutting down for decades. It still runs. Shutting down for decades. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, the nuclear power plants, they're so efficient and so reliable that you don't want to lose them because they're kind of cheap to run. And here's the thing, if you decommission it now, it costs the same to decommission as if you decommission it at the end of its life cycle, right? Because there's still going to be the radioactive stuff that you have to put away for centuries. So if you like build a nuclear power plant, run it for 10 years and then decommission it, it costs just as much as if you run it for 50 years and then decommission it. So you lose, it costs so much money if you don't just run it out until the end of its life cycle. Okay, so it's I've been streaming for 2 hours 18 minutes. I think I'm gonna stop relatively soon. There's one more. No, I want to do one more thing. Hold on, let me look at my map again. My map says that I want the regional loop to go around the other side of this thing. So I want the regional loop to go up the mountain here. That seems ambitious. Go up the mountain here. I don't want to do it diagonally though, do I? No. Okay, I don't want to do it diagonally, but if I go up the mountain here, there'll be a lot of circuits in the same place. Maybe I do it here. And the junction would be diagonal. And then from here, we would cross here. I guess bridge across there. Actually, let me look at my map again. Wesley says, I've been hardly following what you've been doing because of all the talking. Good multitasking. Well, I've mostly just been punching dirt, so it wasn't that complicated talking about doing that. This part, though, I need to think about this. So there's a junction there, junction there. Maybe... Okay, it's a bridge up there, across there, and then down the other side. Alright. So I need to figure out this junction. Maybe I start here. Maybe it's easy to start here. Alright. So the regional loop is gonna go up the mountain. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that just the craziest thing? Let me find my slabs, which is going to be sandstone slabs. It's gonna be a big giant bridge if I... Let me do it here, in fact. It probably makes more sense to go this way. So if we hit 5, hypothetically speaking, if we go 5 there, and then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then that 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this, we're aiming to go all the way down to the ground at this angle. Which might take a while. Don't do that. Okay, earlier Sofa said to me, reported that Yodel Rip guy for racism. I don't know if you're still here, Sofa. I know what he was implying. I know what he was trying to do. I mean, he was trolling, of course. But he didn't really do anything. He just said a bunch of stupid things that weren't particularly funny. And then he left. Yeah, still here. Okay. So, what I'm trying to say is, I personally don't, I'm personally not entirely concerned by guys like him. Like, he's not really doing anything. Although, at the same time, I would say that it is perfectly within your rights to report him. It was still racist both to stream and YouTube videos in my opinion. Okay, that's fine. Like, I have no objections to you reporting him. At all. I mean, I guess we can discuss philosophically whether to silence a guy like that. I mean, it's a personal preference, I guess. Not to say that it's right or wrong to do it one way or the other. I agree though, it's just trolling, but it was tiresome. It was. It was. I mean, my personal preference is to kind of demonstrate to them how to be more interesting. Like, if they're just doing stupid trolling, I personally prefer to show them through my actions how they can become a more interesting person. Which doesn't involve trolling, it involves being educated. Right? Educated people are interesting, trolls are just stupid. So, but anyway, I have more patience than most people, and you know, if other people have no patience for that kind of crap, then I fully understand.